Hi, beautiful people. So, as you know, Jen Shaw was sentenced to 6.5 years in prison, federal prison, and she had to surrender to the prison on February 17th. But before she did so, she created a website and she also did an interview with a gentleman who helps you. He calls what it is your re-entry plan. So you have a plan to enter society from the minute you enter into the facility till you re-enter society. He has a whole plan for that. So she did an interview with him, and she created a website, and she told us that now she's gonna tell us her story, and by doing so, she was gonna do journal entries. So since she surrendered on February 17th of 2023, she has done two journal entries, and I'm assuming that she emails them to Coach Shah or mail them, and then email or mail. I think it's mail, and then he puts it up on her Instagram page. So I'm just gonna read to you some of the entries, the one just before she enters into prison, the system, and then the two journal entries since. So she started off with, and this was on February 17th, this was posted to her Instagram page. She starts off with, she says, I'm surrendering to serve a sentence in federal prison today. It is the price I must pay for the bad decisions I made. People got hurt because of my decisions. While incarcerated, I will work to make amends and reconcile with the victims of my crime. In the link in my bio, I offer a more complete video conversation that explains the release plan I created. It's the line I have drawn, showing my commitment to work toward overcoming bad decisions I made during a personal crisis. She goes on to say, in time, I pray that people will judge me for the way I respond to this sentence rather than only for the decisions that led me to prison. I'll publish my work and make the road transparent, inviting others to hold me accountable. I am a believer in earning freedom, and I'll work towards that goal by making things right with the people I hurt. Love, Jen Shaw. So like I said, that was posted on February 17th, just before she entered prison. So now this is the first journal entry, and it says, 2 miles from Bryan Federal Prison Camp, I could not breathe and my hands went numb. I knew I was having an anxiety attack. I made Coach pull over because our reception was poor while driving and I was not able to FaceTime my oldest baby. We finally connected. I saw his face and I cried so hard until he reassured me that it would be okay. I didn't think I'd make it through today. It felt surreal as we drove to Bryan Federal Prison Camp, just minutes away from having to surrender. My worst fear and the unimaginable was about to happen, having to say goodbye to my sweet husband and precious baby Omar. And in brackets she put, he'll always be my baby even though he's a senior in high school. It goes on to say, we approached the gates and were told to pull into a parking stall next to a white van. It all happened so fast. There was a guard waiting outside of our SUV and two more officers approached, who I later found out one was the captain. I leaned over to the seat next to me and hugged Omar so tight as I could and cried as I buried my head into his chest and held him as tight as I could, not wanting to face reality that this would be the last time I hugged him for a while. Sharif opened the back passenger door and I turned to embrace him, hugging him as if holding him harder would somehow erase this horrible nightmare. I wanted to remember his embrace, his smell, his touch. I held his face in both of my hands. As I looked into his eyes, tears streaming down my face, I told him he is the love of my life and I love him more than anything. Having seconds to tell your husband how much you love him and hoping he truly understands the depths of your love while officers stand there silently urging you to move quickly was the most horrible experience. It's as if you know your world is ending and you have 30 seconds to tell the people you love how much you love them and hope they feel your love and understand its magnitude. Omar then walked to my side of the SUV. I pulled Omar into our embrace. As the three of us hug each other tightly, I pray, "Oh Allah, please protect my family, please Allah." As we hug and tears fall, we desperately clutch on to the last moment when suddenly the officer says, "Okay, let's go." As I make my way to the back of the SUV, the guard asks me what's in my plastic bag. I read every federal website, including the Bryan Federal Prison Camp Handbook, and all sources indicated that I need to have my essential items in a clear plastic bag when I surrender. The officer lets me keep my papers that contain my prescriptions, my actual meds, reading glasses, and contact, but he won't let me bring in my release plan, contact lists, the Quran, or driver's license. So I hand all of those items back to Sharif. The one item that made me feel instantly isolated was not having my contact list. I didn't have the mental bandwidth to memorize my family and loved ones' emails, addresses, and phone numbers. I felt so alone, and my husband and son were only 2 steps away from me. The official motions for us to begin walking into Bryan as the other 2 officials inch towards us, saying with their body language, "It's time to go." Omar quickly comes in front of me and we hug one last time so tightly that I feel air pressing out of my lungs and I cry even harder. Omar has been so strong through everything. As I look at his face, it's as if he's a little boy again and he's finally letting his walls of his strength down. The hurt, pain, and sadness in my baby boy's face is now completely transparent. His eyes are saying, "Mama, please don't leave." I tell him I love him so much. I hug and kiss Sharif again, and as tears pour down my face, I walk with the 3 officials. As I walk, I see Sharif and Omar are watching me, both still crying. I say a prayer and as I'm walking, asking for strength. I don't know how I'm going to do this. I approach a window outside of a building and I'm asked to say my name and Bureau of Prisons identification number. We then walk across the yard to open the doors where my reality will now be federal prison camp. I turn to get one last glance at my husband and son. I wave at them for the last time before I enter the doors. My entire body is numb. I feel like my life is ending and I am truly scared. I want to run back into my husband's arms because I know he will make this nightmare end. I feel physically sick. I feel like I don't belong here. I thought I could do this, but I've decided I can't. I want to go home right now, but I know that's impossible. Please, Allah, help me, please. So that's our first journal entry of the day that she is entering Bryan Federal Prison Camp to start her 6.5-year sentence. And she's just like she says, journaling the feelings that she's going through. Now we go on to the second journal entry. And she starts off, she said, journal entry number 2. It says, Kashana, whose nickname is Special K, also surrendered with me yesterday. We've kind of stuck together the first full day as we both walked in shock, stunned and scared, trying to figure out where we go from here. Today is Saturday. There is a 6 a.m. brown bag breakfast brought into the common area of our unit. I was so tired and didn't wake up, but Special K got one for me. She is kind, and there are not many kind people in this place. It had 1 piece of wheat bread, an apple, 2 packets of jelly, and a packet of instant oatmeal. I ate the piece of bread. A lady was offering instant coffee in the common area, but I didn't have a mug. I saved the apple and oatmeal packet in my locker since I don't go to the commissary until next Tuesday. If I get hungry, I can at least have something to eat. I cried silently, sitting on my top bunk bed last night, pretending to fall asleep, reading a book. But in actuality, my chest was hurting and my heart had broken in a million pieces. I laid in the dark alone with my thoughts of having to say goodbye to my family, to my sweet husband and boys. Sharif's face was seared in my thoughts, remembering Omar's tears as I hugged him tight. Sharif Jr.'s face on FaceTime as I said goodbye to him from the SUV before we arrived at Bryan Federal Prison Camp. As I stare into the dark, I think this has to be a dream. But here I am, keep thinking this is insane, completely ridiculous. Why am I here? I mean, I know why I'm here, but this just feels like someone like me doesn't belong here. I've never been in trouble before. Then I instantly stopped myself from going down this self-destructive path of thinking. I am here because of my bad decisions. I am here because I did this to myself and there is no one to blame but me. The pain and guilt I feel for creating victims, for doing this to my family, putting them through this ordeal the past 2.5+ years, and their pain of having to watch me surrender yesterday, and now the beginning of what will be 78 months without me, is crushing my soul. I woke up to Special K nudging me saying, wake up or PAC numbers work. What? I immediately jump up, grab my glasses, and stumble off the top bunk. I look for my PAC number, paperwork, and still quickly go to the phone so Special K can show me how to activate my PAC number. The only way I can make telephone calls to the outside world is by activating my PAC number. Special K already had someone show her how to do it earlier that morning. My heart is racing, my hands are shaking. The thought of finally being able to call my husband and hear his voice is making my eyes water. I activate my PAC number, record my voice greeting, and set up the few contacts I could remember in the computer. Now I must wait an additional 15 minutes before I call my husband. I tried 3 times and the system says, you cannot make a call at this time. I am trying to stay patient and not get frustrated. I must learn to focus on what I can and cannot control. That will be the key to my adjustment. I am not alone in my struggles, and I must remember that on days where I want to just see my husband and children, my eyes are filling up with tears. I go to the bathroom and cry so no one will see or hear me. So that is the second journal entry from Jen. And she's just letting us know how she is settling in, the feelings she's having. And I believe this was on the second day that she was there. So she's settling in. It's almost been a month since she's been there now. So I'm guessing we'll get some more journal entries soon. and Sharif will post it, and then I'll read it to you guys again in another video or podcast entry. But yeah, Jen Shaw is letting us know her journey through the federal Bryan federal prison camp, and I believe that is in Texas. And I guess this is a way for her to cope with it, and I'm sure pretty soon it will not hit her, but she'll come to the realization of how serious, she already knows how serious the matter is, but I think she'll really understand when she's really into serving her prison time. I really don't think she's gonna do 6.5 years, because as I told you in one other video, there is a program that she could get into that she could shave off a year or 18 months off her sentence. So I'm sure she's going to get into the program, because she did admit that she does have a problem, and that program is supposed to really help her. So yeah, guys, so that is the journal entry for Jennifer Shaw. And like I said, I will come back as soon as Sharif posts some more. I will come back and make other videos for you. For those of you who are not plugged into Instagram, this is posted on Instagram. So for those of you who are not plugged into Instagram and you don't do YouTube, so this is a way for you to hear what's going on with her. Okay, guys, I thank you for watching/listening. Be sure to take care of your family. And until next time, bye-bye.